Adopting a Stoic approach to life means focusing on what's within your control and letting go of what's not. In 2024, you might consider eliminating certain things from your life to live more stoically, focusing on serenity, resilience, and the pursuit of wisdom. Here are 11 things to quietly eliminate. 1. Excessive materialism. Stoicism teaches us to value simplicity and to find contentment in what we have. Eliminate the pursuit of excessive material possessions, as they often lead to dissatisfaction and divert attention from what truly matters. In the shadow of modernity, the human spirit often finds itself ensnared in the relentless pursuit of material possessions, a quest that whispers promises of happiness and fulfillment, yet, paradoxically, leads to an ever-expanding void within the soul. This paradox, at once both ancient and urgently contemporary, beckons us to explore the Stoic wisdom, which, like a beacon from the past, illuminates the path to inner tranquility and contentment through simplicity. Stoicism, a philosophy that flourishes in the gardens of reason and virtue, teaches us to anchor our desires within the fortress of our own selves, urging us to seek richness not in the external world of objects but in the internal realm of thoughts and actions. It is here, in the serene landscape of the mind, that we are invited to cultivate the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, virtues that guide us towards a life of contentment and purpose, unshackled from the chains of excessive materialism. The Stoic sage, embodying the ideal of apatheia, navigates the tumultuous seas of desire with a steady hand, finding solace not in the acquisition of material wealth, but in the harmonious alignment with nature and reason. This alignment, a dance with the cosmos itself, requires us to discern the boundary between what is within our control, the realm of our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, and what lies beyond it, including the seductive allure of material possessions. By focusing our energies on the former and adopting an attitude of equanimity towards the latter, we are promised a liberation from the dissatisfactions that often accompany the quest for external wealth. The Stoic path teaches us that true contentment is found not in the multiplicity of possessions, but in the simplicity of existence, a simplicity that allows the light of our inner virtues to shine forth more brilliantly. In eschewing the excesses of materialism, we are not called to asceticism or denial of the world's beauty, but to a deeper appreciation of life's simple pleasures, the kind that nourishes the soul and fosters a sense of gratitude for what we have, rather than a longing for what we lack. This philosophical journey towards inner contentment is not a rejection of the world, but an invitation to engage with it more profoundly, understanding that our happiness is not contingent on the accumulation of things, but on the cultivation of a resilient and virtuous character. It is a call to return to what truly matters, to the values and relationships that sustain us, to the pursuit of wisdom, and to the practice of virtue in our daily lives. In embracing Stoicism's teachings on simplicity and contentment, we find not only a remedy for the ills of excessive materialism, but also a guide for living a meaningful life, one marked by inner peace, resilience, and a deep-seated joy that arises not from what we possess, but from who we are and how we live. Thus, the Stoic philosophy, timeless in its wisdom, offers a profound commentary on the human condition, reminding us that in the quest for true happiness, less is often more, and in simplicity, there lies the greatest wealth of all. 2. The habit of complaining. Complaining about circumstances, especially those beyond your control, is contrary to Stoic principles. Focus on actionable steps to improve your situation rather than vocalizing discontent. Embarking upon an exploration of the habit of complaining, one must first acknowledge its antithesis within the philosophical framework of Stoicism. This ancient philosophy, rooted in the wisdom of thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, posits a profound acceptance of the universe as it is, urging its adherents to focus their energies solely on the realms within their control. At the heart of Stoicism lies the dichotomy of control, a principle that delineates the world into two domains, that which we can influence and that which lies beyond our grasp. Complaining, especially about circumstances that fall outside our sphere of influence, emerges as a practice fundamentally at odds with Stoic philosophy. The Stoics argue for a life led in accordance with nature and reason, where emotional disturbances are minimized by maintaining a clear distinction between these two domains. They propose that the essence of human misery and dissatisfaction often stems not from the external events themselves but from our interpretations of and reactions to these events. It is in this light that the habit of complaining is scrutinized. Complaining, particularly about events beyond our control, is an exercise in futility, a misdirection of energy that could instead be channeled into constructive action within the scope of our influence. Moreover, to engage in constant complaints is to allow one's peace of mind to be held hostage by the whims of external circumstances. This practice is contrary to the Stoic endeavor to cultivate an inner citadel, impervious to the storms of fate and fortune. Stoicism teaches that tranquility and resilience are forged not by a denial of emotion but by the judicious governance of it. By recognizing what is beyond our control, we liberate ourselves from the tyranny of unfulfillable desires and unwarranted grievances. The alternative to complaining is not passive resignation but active engagement with what is within our power to change. Stoicism advocates for action that is reasoned and deliberate, aimed at improving our condition and aligning our lives more closely with virtue and wisdom. This approach entails a radical acceptance of the present moment as it is, coupled with a commitment to personal excellence and moral integrity in our endeavors. In practical terms, this philosophy invites us to shift our focus from voicing discontent to seeking solutions. Instead of lamenting the wind, we are encouraged to adjust our sails. The habit of complaining is thus replaced with a habit of action, rooted in the understanding that our capacity for personal growth and happiness lies in our responses to life's challenges, not in the challenges themselves. To live stoically is to live actively, with an eye always towards what can be done, improved, or learned from any situation. It is a life philosophy that champions resilience, adaptability, and the pursuit of wisdom. By eschewing the habit of complaining, we align ourselves more closely with these values, steering our lives by the stars of reason and virtue rather than being tossed about by the waves of circumstance. In conclusion, the habit of complaining stands in stark contrast to the Stoic principles of acceptance, action, and focus on the controllable. By adopting a Stoic outlook, we not only refrain from fruitless complaints but also embrace a more empowered and proactive stance towards life. This philosophical approach does not guarantee the absence of adversity, but offers a more resilient and fulfilling way to navigate through it, highlighting the transformative power of our attitudes and actions in the face of the inevitable challenges of existence. 3. Negative self-talk. Replace harsh criticisms of yourself with constructive self-reflection. Stoicism encourages us to be kind and forgiving to ourselves, recognizing our efforts and progress. Embarking on a profound exploration of the inner discourse that shapes our perception of self, one confronts the formidable adversary of negative self-talk. This internal narrative, often laced with harsh criticisms and unforgiving assessments of one's actions and character, serves as a significant barrier to the attainment of inner peace and self-acceptance. The philosophical doctrine of Stoicism, with its rich tapestry of wisdom and practical guidance, offers a luminous path through this shadowed landscape. It beckons us to a higher form of engagement with our inner selves, one that replaces the corrosive self-critique with a practice of constructive self-reflection. The Stoic perspective is anchored in the recognition of the human capacity for error and the inevitable imperfections that accompany our endeavors. It does not admonish us for falling short of our ideals, but rather invites us to understand the nature of our missteps and to learn from them. This compassionate stance towards oneself is not a concession to complacency, but an acknowledgement of the complexity of the human condition. It is an affirmation that growth is a process, not a destination, and that progress, however incremental, is of intrinsic value. To engage in constructive self-reflection is to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal evolution. It requires use to hold a mirror to our souls, to confront our flaws and limitations not with judgment and disdain, but with patience and understanding. This practice demands a radical shift in perspective, one that sees mistakes not as evidence of unworthiness, but as vital stepping stones on the path to wisdom. It is about framing our narrative not in terms of failure and deficiency, but as a continuous unfolding of our potential. The transformation of negative self-talk into constructive self-reflection necessitates the cultivation of self-compassion. This involves treating oneself with the same kindness, concern, and support one would offer a dear friend. It means extending to oneself the forgiveness and grace we often reserve for others, recognizing that we too are deserving of understanding and empathy. This self-compassion is the antidote to the poison of self-criticism, a healing balm that soothes the wounds of the spirit and fosters a nurturing environment for growth and self-improvement. Stoicism teaches us that our power lies not in external circumstances, but in our response to them. This wisdom is particularly relevant in the context of self-talk. It reminds us that while we may not have control over the initial thoughts and impulses that arise within us, we possess the agency to choose how we engage with them. We can allow the negative self-talk to go unchallenged, to define us and dictate our self-worth, or we can assert our sovereignty over our internal dialogue, steering it towards a more constructive and empowering direction. The shift from negative self-talk to constructive self-reflection is not merely a change in the content of our thoughts, but a transformation in our relationship with ourselves. It requires a steadfast commitment to self-awareness, a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, and the courage to embrace vulnerability. This process is not devoid of challenge, for it involves dismantling deeply ingrained patterns of thought and behavior. Yet, it is through this arduous journey that we uncover the strength and resilience that reside within us, forging a more authentic and compassionate relationship with ourselves. In this endeavor, the practice of mindfulness serves as a powerful tool. It enables us to observe our thoughts and emotions with detachment, to recognize the transient nature of our internal experiences. This awareness creates space between stimulus and response, allowing us to choose how we react to the negative self-talk. Instead of being swept away by the tide of self-criticism, we can respond with intentionality, cultivating thoughts that affirm our worth and bolster our resilience. Moreover, the Stoic practice of reflecting on one's virtues and aligning one's actions with them provides a constructive framework for self-examination. It encourages us to define our values and to live in accordance with them, to measure our progress, not against external standards or the opinions of others, but against our capacity for virtue and integrity. This approach fosters a sense of self-efficacy and purpose, grounding our self-reflection in the pursuit of a life well lived. The transition from negative self-talk to constructive self-reflection is a pivotal step in the journey toward self-mastery and fulfillment. It embodies the Stoic ideals of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, guiding us towards a more harmonious and integrated existence. By embracing this practice, we not only cultivate a more compassionate relationship with ourselves, but also contribute to the creation of a more just and empathetic world. For in learning to see ourselves with clarity and kindness, we are better equipped to extend that understanding and compassion to others, fostering a collective environment in which all can thrive. In conclusion, the Stoic invitation to replace harsh criticisms of oneself with constructive self-reflection is a call to a deeper engagement with the essence of our being. It challenges us to transcend the limitations of negative self-talk, to recognize our inherent worth and potential for growth. Through this transformative process, we emerge not only as more resilient and self-aware individuals, but as beacons of light and wisdom, illuminating the path for others in the shared quest for a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. 4. The need for external approval. Stoics believe in living according to one's own values and judgments. Eliminate the dependence on others' approval or praise to validate your actions or self-worth. Embarking upon a discourse that endeavors to unfurl the Stoic perspective on the quest for external approbation requires an excavation into the depths of human comportment and ethos. At the core of Stoic wisdom lies the tenet that the essence of a fulfilled life is rooted not in the external acclamation or the fervent pursuit of approbation from others, but in a steadfast adherence to one's intrinsic values and judgments. This philosophical disposition challenges the prevalent inclination towards seeking validation through the prism of societal approval, proposing instead a paradigm where self-worth and the legitimacy of one's actions are self-contained, sovereign from the capricious judgments of others. To unravel the complexity of this Stoic doctrine, it is imperative to consider the multifaceted nature of human desire for recognition and the psychological scaffolding that underpins it. The craving for external validation is deeply embedded in the human psyche, often emerging as a visceral response to the social environment's cues. This longing is frequently driven by an underlying uncertainty about one's value and a fear of insignificance, propelling individuals towards an incessant quest for affirmation from their peers. However, Stoicism invites us to interrogate this impulse, urging a recalibration of our existential compass away from the ephemeral and towards the immutable truths of personal integrity and moral rectitude. In advocating for a life steered by one's own values and judgments, Stoicism posits a radical emancipation from the shackles of external approval. This philosophical stance does not denigrate the importance of interpersonal relationships or the inherent human need for connection, but rather reconfigures the locus of validation to emanate from within. By disentangling self-worth from the fluctuating tides of societal praise, Stoicism champions a form of existential autonomy that fosters resilience in the face of adversity and equanimity amidst the vicissitudes of fortune. The Stoic pursuit of autonomy and valuation requires a rigorous self-examination and a commitment to cultivating virtues that are aligned with one's core principles. This process entails a deliberate cultivation of self-awareness, where the individual becomes both the sculptor and the marble, carving out a life that reflects their deepest convictions. In this endeavor, the Stoic is guided by the wisdom that true validation is a byproduct of living in harmony with one's nature, striving for excellence in character and action irrespective of external acknowledgement. However, the path to Stoic autonomy is fraught with challenges, as the allure of external validation is pervasive and often masquerades as a marker of success and fulfillment. To navigate this terrain, the Stoic sage employs reason as a bulwark against the seductions of external approval, discerning the transient from the eternal, the superficial from the substantive. This discernment is not a solitary pursuit but a dialogical engagement with the self, where the Stoic continuously questions and refines their understanding of what constitutes a life well lived. In this quest for self-sufficiency, the Stoic finds freedom in detachment from the opinions of others, not as an act of isolation, but as an affirmation of self-trust. This detachment is not born out of indifference, but from a profound recognition of the limits of external influence on one's inner sanctum. It is a testament to the Stoic conviction that the only true dominion one can claim is over one's own mind and actions, a realm where the sovereignty of the self is unassailable. The Stoic ideal of living according to one's own values and judgments thus emerges as a beacon of autonomy in a world often obscured by the fog of external validation. It is a call to embrace the authenticity of one's being, to forge a life that is a reflection of one's highest ideals, and to find solace in the knowledge that true worth is measured not by the applause of the multitude, but by the integrity of one's actions. In this philosophical vista, the need for external approval is transcended by a deeper engagement with the self, where the true validation lies in the congruence between one's values and one's life. Thus, the Stoic journey toward self-validation is both an inward odyssey and a philosophical rebellion, a repudiation of the external as the arbiter of value in favor of an internal compass that guides one through the tempests of life. It is a testament to the enduring wisdom of Stoicism that, in a world perennially in flux, the sanctuary of self-worth remains steadfastly anchored in the depths of one's own soul. 5. Time-wasting activities. Identify and cut out activities that do not serve your growth, happiness, or goals. Stoicism emphasizes the precious nature of time and the importance of using it wisely. In the vast and unfathomable continuum of existence, the concept of temporality emerges as a cornerstone upon which the edifice of human life is constructed. It is within this ephemeral and fleeting dimension that the Stoics, custodians of wisdom and purveyors of virtue, have beckoned us to undertake a profound introspection concerning the manner in which we elect to allocate the finite resource that is time. They assert with unwavering conviction that our temporal existence, though boundless in potential, is paradoxically constrained by the inexorable advance of time itself. It is within this dichotomy that the imperative to judiciously discern and excise activities devoid of substance, growth, and joy becomes manifest. The Stoic philosophy, with its roots deeply entrenched in the pursuit of equanimity and the attainment of a life well lived, offers a lantern in the opaque abyss of existence, guiding us towards the realization that not all pursuits are worthy of our temporal endowment. They urge us to engage in a meticulous examination of our daily endeavors, to sift through the chaff of frivolity and ephemera, and to retain only that which contributes to the edification of our being, the expansion of our happiness, and the fruition of our most noble ambitions. This doctrine does not merely suggest but implores us to cast aside the shackles of time-wasting activities that ensnare us in a Sisyphean cycle of stagnation and discontent. It beckons us to recognize the sacrosanct nature of time, to treat it not as an inexhaustible wellspring, but as a precious commodity to be dispensed with the utmost discretion and reverence. In embodying the Stoic ethos, we are called to cultivate a discerning eye, one that can pierce through the veneer of immediate gratification and perceive the intrinsic value, or lack thereof, of our pursuits. It is a call to action, to curate a life that resonates with purpose, meaning, and joy, unburdened by the trivial and the inconsequential. Therefore, let us heed the call of the Stoics, to embark upon a journey of deliberate living, where each moment is imbued with intentionality, each action a testament to our commitment to growth, and each breath a reflection of our dedication to living in harmony with the principles that elevate the human spirit beyond the mundane and the ordinary. In doing so, We not only honor the preciousness of our temporal existence, but also forge a legacy that transcends the boundaries of time itself. 6. Unhealthy relationships. Stoicism teaches the value of surrounding yourself with people who contribute positively to your life. Distance yourself from relationships that are toxic or hinder your personal development. In the realm of Stoicism, a philosophy that venerates the cultivation of the self through rationality and virtue, the essence of human interaction is illuminated with discerning clarity. This ancient wisdom imparts upon us a profound understanding that our social milieu, the tapestry of relationships in which we are enmeshed, significantly influences the odyssey of our personal evolution. Therefore, it behooves the seeker of wisdom to meticulously curate the constellation of souls with whom they choose to orbit in close proximity. To immerse oneself in the fellowship of those who emit the radiance of positive influence is to nourish the garden of one's own being with the waters of growth and the sunlight of enlightenment. These relationships, marked by mutual respect, empathy, and the shared pursuit of virtue, become the sanctuaries in which our best selves are not only welcomed, but are fervently encouraged to flourish. Conversely, the Stoic sage counsels us to recognize and, with deliberate intent, extricate ourselves from the quagmire of relationships that are toxic, those that sow the seeds of discord, drain our reservoirs of vitality, and cloud our vision with the fog of negativity. Such associations are likened to chains that bind us, hindering our journey towards self-actualization and the realization of our potential. They are the shadows that loom over the garden of our spirit, obstructing the light necessary for our growth. This philosophy does not advocate for a callous severing of bonds, but rather a thoughtful distancing, a conscious choice to not allow oneself to be ensnared in the thorns of relationships that detract from our quest for inner peace and moral development. It is a testament to the belief that our environments shape us, and thus, we have not only the opportunity, but the duty to choose environments that are conducive to our highest good. In the theater of life, where each actor plays their role, it is incumbent upon us to choose our cast wisely, for the drama of our existence is too precious to be marred by the incessant discord of those who do not share our commitment to the principles of growth, integrity, and virtue. Thus, the Stoic philosophy serves as both compass and map, guiding us through the complex web of human relations towards the ultimate destination of self-mastery and fulfillment. In this journey, let us be judicious in our selections, fostering connections that are reflective of our highest aspirations and severing ties with grace when they no longer serve our path to enlightenment. For in the grand design of our lives, it is the quality of our relationships that will define the legacy of our journey, a legacy that we hope will resonate with the echoes of wisdom, virtue, and the indomitable spirit of Stoicism. 7. Fear of change. Embrace change as a natural part of life. Stoics view change as an opportunity for growth and learning, rather than something to fear or resist. In the vast tapestry of existence, where the threads of time and circumstance interweave with the essence of our being, there lies an immutable truth recognized by the Stoics, ancient philosophers who beheld the world with a gaze unclouded by the ephemeral. They discerned that change in its myriad forms is not merely an incidental backdrop against which the drama of life unfolds, but rather the very crucible within which the soul is forged and refined. To fear change, as one might instinctively, is to misunderstand the fundamental nature of our reality. It is akin to fearing the dawn for the darkness it dispels or the seasons for the transformation they bring. Such fear anchors us to the shallows of existence, where the depths of our potential remain unexplored and the vastness of life's possibilities goes uncharted. The Stoics, in their wisdom, exhorted us to not only accept change, but to embrace it with open arms, to see in its inexorable advance not the shadow of loss, but the light of opportunity. Change, they taught, is the arena in which our character is tested, the anvil upon which our resilience is hammered, and the garden in which the seeds of wisdom are sown and nurtured. To resist change is to resist the very forces that sculpt our identity, that challenge our preconceptions, and that invite us to grow beyond the confines of our current selves. It is through the embrace of change that we learn, evolve, and ultimately come to know the depths of our own strength and the breadth of our capacity for adaptation. The Stoic view of change as an opportunity for growth and learning invites us to reconsider our relationship with the unfamiliar, the uncertain, and the untried. It beckons us to step into the flow of life with courage and curiosity, to meet the unknown not with trepidation, but with the anticipation of the growth it promises. In this light, change becomes not a specter to be feared, but a teacher whose lessons are indispensable to the journey of self-discovery. Thus, as we navigate the winding paths of our existence, let us hold fast to the Stoic wisdom that change is the essence of life's dynamism. Let us approach each turning point, each new horizon with a spirit of openness and a heart ready to learn. For in the embrace of change lies the key to unlocking our fullest potential, to transcending our limitations, and to weaving our individual threads into the grand design of the universe with purpose, grace, and resilience. 8. Overindulgence. Practice moderation in all aspects of life, from eating and drinking to entertainment and leisure. Overindulgence can lead to a loss of control and detract from your ability to live a balanced life. In the grand tapestry of existence, woven with the myriad threads of experiences, actions, and desires, there exists a subtle yet profound principle that governs the harmony of life: moderation. This ancient wisdom, echoed through the corridors of time by philosophers and sages alike, serves as a beacon, guiding us away from the jagged shores of excess towards a more balanced and meaningful existence. To practice moderation is to walk the middle path, carefully balancing between the extremes of asceticism and hedonism. It is an art, refined through the conscious effort of tempering one's desires and actions across all facets of life. From the sustenance we consume to the pleasures we partake in, moderation invites us to experience the world with restraint and gratitude, cultivating a sense of appreciation for the transient beauty of the mundane. Overindulgence, however, is the siren call that lures one away from this equilibrium. It is the unchecked pursuit of gratification, a voracious hunger that paradoxically leaves one more famished. When we surrender to the allure of excess, whether in the realm of consumption, entertainment, or leisure, we risk severing the delicate threads that bind us to a balanced existence. This dissonance manifests not only in the physical realm, as a loss of control over one's actions and health, but also in the spiritual, as a detachment from the essence of being that resides in mindful presence and contentment. The repercussions of overindulgence extend beyond the individual, casting ripples across the fabric of society and the natural world. In an age marked by the pursuit of endless growth and instant gratification, the collective consequence of our excesses emerges as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of life. The environmental degradation, social inequalities, and existential voids that plague contemporary society are but symptoms of a deeper malaise, a disconnection from the principle of moderation. Thus, to embrace moderation is to undertake a journey of self-discovery and transformation. It is to engage in a dialogue with oneself, questioning the true nature of desire and the source of fulfillment. By tempering our appetites and aligning our actions with the values of balance and restraint, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also contribute to the greater good, fostering a world that thrives on harmony rather than discord. In this light, The practice of moderation emerges not as a limitation, but as a liberation from the chains of excess. It is a path to freedom, allowing us to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and grace. By embracing moderation, we reclaim control over our lives, opening the door to a more balanced, purposeful, and fulfilling existence. 9. Procrastination. Eliminate the habit of delaying tasks and responsibilities. Stoicism encourages action and living in the present, making the most of each moment. Procrastination, that insidious specter which haunts the corridors of our intentions, beckons us to delay the tasks and responsibilities that lay claim to our time. It whispers seductively of tomorrow, a realm where the burdens of today might effortlessly be borne. Yet, this is a mirage, an illusion spun from the threads of self-deception. The philosophy of Stoicism, with its venerable roots reaching deep into the fertile ground of ancient wisdom, offers a counterpoint to this pervasive malaise. It does not merely suggest but firmly advocates for action, for a deliberate engagement with the present moment as the arena of our existence. The Stoic perspective enjoins us to seize the day, not in the pursuit of hedonistic pleasures or in the service of fleeting desires, but in the earnest endeavor to fulfill our duties and embrace our responsibilities. For in the Stoic view, the present moment is all that we truly possess, a precious and fleeting opportunity to enact our virtues and contribute to the commonweal. This philosophy teaches us that the future is an abstraction, a figment of our imagination that, while useful for planning, must not be allowed to overshadow the primacy of the now. In the Stoic practice, procrastination is thus seen not merely as a personal failing or a benign tendency towards idleness, but as a fundamental misalignment with the nature of reality itself. It is a refusal to live in accordance with the principle that the present moment is the nexus of life, the point at which we can exert our influence and leave our mark on the world. To procrastinate is to abdicate this power, to squander our potential under the illusion that time is a resource inexhaustible and ever renewable. The remedy Stoicism proposes is straightforward yet profound: a reorientation of our perspective, a recalibration of our focus towards the immediate, the tangible, and the real. This entails a disciplined mindfulness, an awareness that each moment is an opportunity to act virtuously, to advance towards our goals, and to fulfill our obligations to ourselves and to others. It calls for a recognition that action, not intention, is the crucible of character and the true measure of our lives. To eliminate the habit of procrastination, then, is to embrace the Stoic ethos of living in the present, making the most of each moment. It is to understand that the fabric of life is woven not from the dreams of tomorrow, but from the actions of today. This philosophy does not merely encourage us to act, but compels us to recognize that, in the relentless flow of time, each moment not seized is a moment lost, a thread pulled from the weave of our existence. In conclusion, the Stoic admonition against procrastination is more than a call to productivity. It is an invitation to live fully, to embrace the present with courage and purpose. For in the final analysis, the quality of our lives is determined not by the plans we make, but by the actions we take, not by the future we imagine, but by the present we inhabit and shape with our choices and deeds. 10. Negative influences. Be mindful of the media you consume and the conversations you engage in. Eliminate sources of negativity that can affect your mood and outlook on life. In the grand theater of existence, the media we consume and the conversations we partake in are akin to the nourishment we provide to our minds, shaping our perceptions, molding our moods, and influencing the very fabric of our reality. It is paramount, therefore, that we exercise discernment in the selection of these influences. for they possess the power to either elevate our spirits or ensnare our psyches in a web of negativity. Consider the mind as a garden wherein the seeds of thought are continually sown. The quality of the media and dialogue we immerse ourselves in acts as the rain and sunlight to these seeds. If we allow the deluge of negativity to inundate our garden, the seeds of pessimism, doubt, and despair will find fertile ground to take root, flourish, and overshadow the beauty of our inner landscape. This proliferation of negativity can obscure the path to enlightenment, dimming the light of our true essence and leading us astray from the pursuit of a life marked by harmony, joy, and understanding. To safeguard our inner sanctum and ensure the blossoming of our highest selves, we must thus become vigilant gardeners, meticulously weeding out the tendrils of negativity that seek to choke our potential. This endeavor requires us to eschew sources of media and discourse that darken our outlook on life, opting instead for those that illuminate the virtues of positivity, wisdom, and compassion. By cultivating an environment that nourishes the soul, we foster an inner resilience that acts as a bulwark against the tempests of negativity, enabling us to remain steadfast in our journey toward self-realization and fulfillment. In this conscious pruning of our mental ecosystem, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also contribute to the collective upliftment of humanity. For as we each radiate positivity and understanding, we become beacons of light in a world that often languishes in the shadows of negativity. Through mindful engagement with the media and conversations that surround us, we embark on a path of transformation, leading us to a state of being where peace, joy, and harmony are not mere aspirations but the very essence of our existence. 11. The illusion of control over others. Recognize that you can only control your own actions and reactions. Release the desire to control or change others, focusing instead on your own behavior and responses. In the labyrinthine journey of human existence, the chimera of exerting dominion over the will and actions of our fellow travelers often ensnares us in a futile quest. This pursuit, rooted in the illusion of control, beckons us with the promise of order and predictability in the capricious dance of life. Yet, it is but a mirage, a phantasm that dissipates upon the touch of wisdom. To grasp the essence of our agency, we must first acknowledge the boundary where our sovereignty ends and the autonomy of others begins. It is a demarcation defined not by the limits of our desires but by the intrinsic freedom that each soul harbors within its breast. This realization ushers in a paradigm shift from an external locus of control, where we are but Sisyphus eternally pushing the boulder of our will upon others, to an internal locus, where the sphere of our influence is both the genesis and terminus of our actions. In this sanctum of self-governance, the alchemy of transformation occurs not through the exertion of power over others, but through the mastery of one's own responses and behaviors. Like the Stoic philosopher who finds serenity amidst the tempest through the fortitude of his inner citadel, we too must cultivate a garden of tranquility within, from which the fruits of wisdom and patience can flourish. Releasing the desire to mold others into the shapes of our expectations is akin to unshackling the chains that bind us to the rock of frustration and disappointment. It is an act of liberation, freeing us from the Sisyphean task of controlling the uncontrollable. Instead, we are called to embark on a more noble quest, one that directs the chisel of change towards the marble of our own being, sculpting ourselves into paragons of autonomy and resilience. By focusing on our behavior and responses, we embrace the only realm over which we hold true dominion. It is in this domain that we can enact the most profound changes, not by quelling the tempests without, but by calming the storms within. This path of self-reflection and self-mastery is not one of isolation, but of profound interconnectedness, for in shaping our essence, we cast ripples into the pond of the world. influencing others not through coercion but through the silent power of example. Thus, in the philosophical contemplation of control, we find a paradoxical truth, that by relinquishing the illusory reins of power over others, we attain a greater mastery over the course of our own lives. It is a wisdom as ancient as the stars, a call to turn inward, to the only frontier where true change is possible, the self. In this journey of inward conquest, we discover not only the futility of external control, but the boundless potential of self-realization and the serene acceptance of the dance of existence. As we journey through life, it's essential to let go of what no longer serves us. Our recent exploration, 11 Things You Should Quietly Eliminate from Your Life in 2024, aims to guide you towards a lighter, more meaningful existence. This wisdom isn't just advice, it's a beacon guiding you to a freer, more fulfilled self. Reflect, act, and embrace the change. To continue growing together, subscribe and join our quest for a better self. Let's walk this path of enlightenment, shedding the unnecessary and illuminating the essential. Join us, and let's transform together. Subscribe for more journeys into self-improvement. Until our paths cross again, keep seeking, keep growing.